Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe on this eighth day. Oh, June's almost over, it seems. Eighth day of June, 2025. Hopefully, we won't have any glitches today. We had some problems yesterday, but we're excited. Marcia had to step out for a few minutes. She will be back, but I want to introduce my co-host first. One of my co-hosts, I should say. Greg, how are you doing today in this fabulous time?
Doing well, thank you, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I get the privilege of introducing for her third visit to our network, Sandra Mitrovic. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me for the third time.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. It's amazing. And this time you're here for the Librarians, the next chapter. And you directed two episodes in the first season. And this is the first one, which was the second episode. And of course, now my mind has gone blank because I can't remember. I know it's ballet, but I'm trying to remember the exact title.
It's
And it's
called
The
yeah.
dance of
Doom. Yeah, that's right. Dance of Doom. How can I forget that? I mean, boy. Well, just because Greg was on top of it more than me today, Greg, I'm going to go with you first to ask Sandra some fun questions.
Oh wow! So now you've got seven sci-fi and fantasy episodes between the Ark and the Librarians. Did you like science fiction and fantasy, or had interest in it prior to working with Dean on these?
Well, generally, no. I mean, I watched some super famous sci-fi and fantasy shows, but I was never like my colleagues Stocky and Milan Konjevic that you also interviewed. Like they are really, really into sci-fi. Like
Mhm.
I wasn't. It happened by accident that I started working with Dean. I was studying. I did my master's in New York at Columbia, and I came back to Serbia. And I was thinking that I will stay to live in New York. But then during COVID, I came back to Serbia. I'm from here to do my first feature film, and then they were shooting the first season of Arc. And some people who worked on my film were worked on Arc as well, and they were looking for local directors and some people recommended me. I went on interview. I saw the studios, everything, and yeah, that's how I got like my first two episodes of Arc. And then everything else after that, it just happened organically. I assume they were satisfied with my work on the show, so they called me again. And Librarians, Arc is like I watched shows like with like a space shows. There's so many of them, but Librarians, I feel it's something like very special. Like it's a very special universe, of original and this Librarians. And I think it's very interesting to do a spin-off of something like that. Was a first for me for sure, to do a spin-off of a show that already exists. So that is something that I think it was probably the most challenging thing in approaching Librarians. You have the audience that has certain expectations who are already fans of the show, and then you do want to add something new, but also you want to have that safe place for them, like that they are used to. So the balancing those two can be a bit tricky.
Wow, that's really neat.
Did you find uh, your approach a little bit different from the Arc versus the Librarians, the next chapter, in the directing aspect, or kind of was it
Well,
the same?
well, for sure, they're visually quite different shows. Arc, everything that we shoot on Arc is inside. Like everything is, especially in the first season and the second season, right up to the end of it, you were always on a spaceship. So everything is shot in the studio, which production wise, it's easier because you're always in a studio, even if someday, like, you don't manage to film maybe everything, you know that it's fine because tomorrow you will be again in that same studio. But Librarian is the show that each episode takes you, you don't know where it will take you. When you read, when the script comes, you have no idea what where will you be and what locations you will use, where this episode will literally take us. So from that perspective, it's very different. So then you have to adapt also your style in a way, like first how much, like arc is very fast moving show, we're always on the go, there is always something, we use a lot of steady cam, it's always we're always in some action. Librarians as well are very action based, but you also have episodes which are a bit slower, a bit more maybe romantic, even, a bit more dramatic. So it really depends from episode to episode. Last season one, I did two episodes, the ballet one that you guys had opportunity to see, and episode seven that is not out yet, as I believe. So
did you do episode 7 or 8 in the first season?
seven,
7. Okay.
2 and 7,
And the con.
and the con exactly.
Oh,
And
okay.
they're completely two different episodes, like very very different. Like a tone of them is different, the, let's say, main character, because I feel every episode one of our four lead actors, it's kind of more relevant than others story wise, like it is kind of about them. Like in episode 2, Charlie was leading the ballet story, she was the central element of it, even though like they're all equally always important in solving cases. And episode 7 is completely different, but I don't know, should I wait, like not
Wait, yeah,
talk
wait.
about it
Mhm.
now, we will
Yeah,
talk when it
TNT
comes.
won't be thrilled if we do, but I just wanted to mention which episode so people can look forward to seeing it after they've seen you on our show and they go, "Oh, I know who did the directing of this." I mean, it's I find it fun too when I've done that. So
It is very interesting, and you will see it's also like visually I feel it's different than we do, like in the ballet one. The approach of the dancing, I feel like okay, that's probably something that is different than any other episode, just because it's a dance piece. So you're kind of like, you have to do a little research, how do people film ballet, what is like, how do you move, are the dancers comfortable with camera just like passing by them, like you do have to rehearse some aspects. It's kind of like a stunt. I mean, it's not dangerous as a stunt, but it is kind of, you have to approach it as a little stunt to see like where they will be, where the camera will be, where the actors will be, what will happen. So it was really really interesting. And yeah, in the aspects how different from arc is, I feel that is the biggest difference, that arc is like show that is set 99% in studio, and librarians is half, like half a time we are in annex, where which we do film in the studio, and for the other half, who knows, some episodes like have less annex, some have more. I mean, it's such a beautiful set. I was always wondering why they didn't do one bottle episode, that everything is happening in the annex of the library. We filmed the whole, like, even through the first whole season, I don't think we shot in each corner of annex. It's
oh
so big,
really?
so
Oh,
beautiful. Like the art department did incredible job. It's so wherever you like point camera, it looks nice. Like you can really film it so many times, and it always gives, you're always thrilled to film there.
now here's a question I kind of asked you off camera, but I wanted to bring it up again, and then I'll go to Greg after this question. Um, where did you get your ballerinas for did you have a casting call or how did that work?
No, ballerinas actually came from national. We filmed the National Theater of Serbia, and ballerinas are the ballerinas who work in National Theater,
Oh
and
wow.
we use prima ballerina, like the main ballerina. Among them was body double for, not for Charlie, but for the witch, for our main young
Mm.
ballerina in the show. So yeah, and the girls were really, really open and nice, and we adapted our whole choreography of the dance that Charlie will be dancing with them, um, based on something that they were already dancing at the time. So that I was just watching online like few very famous ballets that we knew that they know how to dance now, and that they're practicing at the moment. And then we actually used Charlie's dance, like her character dancing. There is a man in that ballet who dances, and he kind of wears also white shirt and black pants like Charlie does. So we were like, okay, what if she comes in as a role, like not to distract audience, because this Giselle, the ballet, actually has a man who does similar things that Charlie did
Oh,
in
wow.
the dance itself. So we just went with something that already exists and adapted it to work for us. And then the challenge was also the things that are falling down, while they're dancing. There were things like that Connor and Liza are trying to stop the dance from happening. So that was also one of the challenges of the dance. So we had to figure out the dance, figure out the things falling down, and to have Jessica be able to do that. She never did any ballet. She did something when she was very young, like when she was 5, 6, but nothing. But she's
Nothing
on,
since.
yeah, but she's so good in anything physical. She's just very talented for all type of sports stuff. So she just went with our choreographer who was working on this episode. They had few classes. We didn't have until the day of first day of shooting. We never had the full rehearsal on the place with the things
No.
down, because it was impossible, because we were shutting down National Theater. So on the day, first half of a day was blocked for just rehearsing, first half of the shooting day, just to be. We tried with Jessica and ballerinas and everything, but we never tried on actual stage. And there's so many different things that you don't even think about when it comes to ballet. I didn't know a lot about it, but the opening scene, like with the ballerina being hit by the truck, when
Hmm.
her like shoes get
Shoes
infected.
did all the fun things. Yeah.
So there is like a huge, like there was, we struggled for weeks, like in what shoes she will dance on concrete, because you can't dance in
Oh,
every
yeah.
type of shoes. And it was important script wise that they are pointy shoes, that they are real ballerina shoes, just because that is the magical element of our episode. But those shoes are not good for usually in concrete they wear like a soft shoes. So there's so many angles about this, like ballet, generally ballet sequence throughout the episode, but we
Oh,
managed to
interesting.
sort everything out. But yeah, those are the things that you would never think about unless you're a directing episode about ballet.
Well,
And
now
but
you know all about that, right?
yes, I do.
Greg, go ahead.
So first a comment. I have to say that was probably one of the freshest, funnest action sequences I've seen in a long time. The with Charlie, trying to get through all the ballet during the performance. I thought that was, absolutely fresh and unique. Um, when you were, filming these sequences, because of the location, were there any angles that you had thought you would be able to get or wanted to get that you couldn't, that you had to change your approach during the filming?
Yeah, nothing. We just didn't. We were limited by how many days we could film generally there, and also we had our budget afforded that amount of extras that we had. We had a full theater, so it was around 600-700 people in there to make it full. and our budget allowed like 1 day of filming that. So I had to make sure to film that side, like the side that looks towards the crowd, like first, and then we would do reverse. First day,
Okay.
and also we had like reverse, but also we had a shot from balcony where you see audience and what is happening on the stage. But our main thing was to shoot everything with so many extras first, and it's always very challenging when you have a big amount of extras. They're not professional actors or people who are generally, some of them are generally like working as extras, but it always gets a bit trickier. You need more time, it's louder. And we were shooting with 5 cameras that sequence.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
three with the camera operators and 2 that were just like capturing stuff, like wides, like very wides.
Oh,
uh
awesome.
and it was really, really coverage wise, we had a lot. But the tricky thing was because the dance sequence was so beautiful and captivating that I was really trying to focus hard not to forget to film all the beats that we need for the story, all the things fall at the right time, because it's so nice, to watch them dance, and it looks so magical, and especially when you put steady cam so you can move. And I was like, okay, I need to focus. I'm not doing like a dance piece. The dance is the part of this like dance battle. So in editing, that also became so challenging. Like we cut out so many beautiful things, but you have to keep stuff that are serving the story the best. You can't be super attached just to your beautiful shots if they are not. I mean, if they're not moving story forward.
Well, I have to say it worked amazing, and I was smiling the whole time because it was something so new and different.
It is, yeah, and also like writing that, I thought like that's such original writing to write a dance battle sequence. It was, I watched. I remember preparing for that scene. I was watching Black Swan. I was trying to find like a ballet sequence, which are a bit like over the top in dramatic way. That it's not just pure dancing. That it has some drama to it. Uh, and then that got me super excited as well, because it's so, when you think about ballet, something which is so nice and pure and beautiful, and then you're trying to make an action sequence out of it, and you're not even realizing that these women who are dancing, even though they're looking so gracious and nice, they're actually very strong, and they're like, just being able to dance like ballet, you need such a strength. Like it's really insane. And we couldn't, also we had to give them a longer breaks. That was also one of the, I mean, challenges for shooting crew who works on schedule. We have a 12 day, so we had to, after every 2 times that we would do the complete dance, they had to have a rest, because it is very, very hard to dance. And Jessica
Mhm.
did a lot of her stuff alone. Like we had also a double for her, but her double we might maybe used in like a very, very wide master shots. But for everything that was even a bit closer, she was also, because she had the soft shoes. This is the shoes thing that I was telling you about previously.
Hmm.
Soft
Hmm.
shoes are great because they are very comfortable, and she could do numerous times like. But if you have this like very professional pointy shoes that ballerinas usually have, that is like very, they could do one dance, maybe two, and then they have to take them off and have rest because it hurts very
I would
much.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcia, we'll go with you, and I put in the chat of what we had talked about.
Oh,
So you don't, yeah, you don't
okay.
replay, but
Okay.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah, you warned me that you were going to bring up the ballet
yeah.
dancers right off, so I kind of
Hmm.
scratched that off my list.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's
Aw.
good.
But I was really interested in your opportunity in an early episode to help set the tone for the characters.
Yes, that was also one of the big challenges,
Mm-hmm.
because the second episode is just you're setting the tone of that episode, but also characters of the show, and it was so new to all of us, to cast, to me, like what is happening. We were all together discovering who are these characters and who would say what in what way. And
Mm-hmm.
well, we had a lot of conversations with Dean, that it is a fast moving show, that we should always be moving. But then you have a scene like with Vikram and Mrs. Astolat, which is very emotional scene where he's telling her that he wants to go back to Anya. And then that type of scene, like even though we're a fast paced show, you can't like have them rushing, and like do it in as a walk and talk. You have to have them still, and do that scene in a little slower pace. So those were the things that we were talking about in the weeks prior to filming it. Like we are setting in the first few episodes the tone for the whole season. What is exactly balance between being fun, moving, if you have a dramatic scene, and if you have something that is not just fun, that is a bit deeper. And also in episode 2 is the first time that we are getting to know Mrs. Astolat a bit more. We saw her in the pilot as a trinket seller lady, and in the second episode, actually, we discover who she is and what her purpose in this show will be.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, first episode, I feel it gives you like, okay, these are your characters, and from second episode, you're starting to learn who these people are. So yeah, that was definitely something that I had on mind all the time while preparing and filming that episode. That you're I was trying to set the world of my episode, but also to keep what that world will be for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of humor in the episode. One that pops in my mind is the tongue twisters.
Oh,
They do have them, yes. I think there are a few in episode 2 as well. There's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Vikram always does them. Also Callum, like Bluey,
Bluey,
sorry,
yeah.
Bluey Connor. It's so funny on set. Also, sometimes when I want to call them by name, but I call them by their character name. It's just like it gets sometimes, but they are super nice. So I mean, they know it happens. You're like, yeah, no, Vikram, no, no. So yeah, Connor's character Bluey has also a few of them in my episode. Yeah, that is really, and it's really amazing for me how quickly they can learn their lines. I mean, we film here in such a fast pace, and in the middle of the week, one episode finishes and the other episode starts. And these guys, like honestly, all four of them are incredible with a bunch of texts that they learn and that they perform very well and understand what it is. Where they are basically directors when it comes to that, to navigate them through if they have any questions. Also, it was so helpful, which didn't happen often on ARC, but on Librarians it happened now almost always, that we will have writers on set as well, which helps a lot with the questions, and stuff that maybe you don't know as a director, because you don't know what will happen in 5 episodes, but writers have a bigger picture. They know. So some questions which are deeper or maybe connected to the past or to the rules of library, it was very, very useful to have writers actually on set.
I have more.
Greg, or you got another one, Marcia?
Sure.
Okay, unless you have one more, then we're going to Greg.
Dame Anna's. You got to work with so many beautiful costumes too. I noted her purple gown especially, But is working with costuming like that, does it ever get in the way where you have to remember, I've got this drape, I've got this going when you're directing?
Well, we have actually, if you're asking about the costume, like a
Yes.
continuity of it, we have like a amazing team first in costume. They usually give ideas for, I mean, unless it's something very specific that director envisions, but generally costume is always ready. Even on the first day of prep, they're ready with ideas. And our department is really, really insanely talented. And there is a continuity lady who and costume together who is making sure that they wear like they don't wear something twice if it's 2 different days per script and those type of things. So you always have a help from them. But yeah, they for Dame Anna's role, I know that the actress was also involved, but what she will wear that in together with Ivana, who is our
Oh, yes.
department of costumes. They were together thinking like also because she does turn into ballerina and she's the older actress, so we wanted to make sure that she's comfortable with the costume and with the whole outfit. But yeah, it was like costumes in this show, like that's also a big difference when it comes to arc. Arc is really fun in a way that everything is like very strict when it comes to that. Like we're in our own world where we have uniforms, even if they're not in uniforms. It is kind of like one umbrella. All clothes and colors are under one umbrella. But in Librarians, anything is possible.
Nope.
Like, you could use all colors, all costumes, like, and each episode takes you. I don't want to spoil next ones for you guys and for anyone, but every episode takes you somewhere else. Like, so you will see. You're in for a treat until the end of the season.
We'll be watching.
Yeah, Greg. Greg, you're muted.
Sorry, the cat was crying at me a little while ago, so I had to turn it. So this episode also had a horror element to it, but the show itself is generally very family friendly. Were there, with what was happening, were there times when you wanted to go further but needed to pull back, or were there times where you were pulling back but were asked by the writers or Dean to push it out more with the horror element?
Well, not necessarily. I think it was a good balance of that we found in the episode, and I feel like we visualize it exactly how it was written in that sense. Maybe we made it a bit funnier, then maybe it also depends, like, yeah, if me and you would read the same thing, we would visualize it probably on 4 completely different ways. But yeah, there is like, I remember that talking to Dean at first, he would tell me, and even this season now, he's telling you, don't forget, Vikram is super scared of witches. Like, he hates witches. That's like his biggest nightmare. So even like if it sounds scary and everything, when he's so scared and he's a grown man, it's funny. So even like any scary element, you're kind of softening it with that and with his performance. I mean, he's such an incredible actor, and we all felt like as soon as he came on set, we were like, he's made for this character. So yeah, I mean, all of them, like all 4 of them are incredibly talented, but him as a number one, as a lead of the show, I feel like the whole like Vikram Chamberlain character, I could not imagine anyone else to play that character right now. Like,
he does a good job. He really does.
As an audience member, I can say I can agree, definitely.
Marcia, do you have a closing question?
Well, Yeah, I as a director, I noticed there's some aerial shots. Um,
Mhm.
when you're directing, and that gave us incredible views of Belgrade in the theater. Is that a new tool for you as well as a director?
Not Yeah, not necessarily. I worked with drones before, but not in this capacity. And also,
Hmm.
I think it's really interesting on Librarians. We use like uh, not in every episode, but whenever we have a signature location, let's say for an episode, something where majority of episode will take place, we tend to do this like establishing drone shots
Hmm.
to I do feel they give us a vibe of the place. The when you see the exterior, especially even sometimes when we film in the studio, some stuff. If we built some rooms in the studio, like for example the theater, or almost everything we filmed in actual theater. Uh, Dame Zana office was studio. We made her office, but and also like obviously annex the library. But apart from that, everything else that we filmed was on location and actually in the theater, which I think having these aerial drone shots, it's giving you, I think it gives you better feeling of the place
Yeah.
when you, and also it's selling better when we can't have some location, we have to build it in the studio. It's connecting it better to the interior that you hopefully never think about that it could be a studio. That I think it sells better that it is on actual a location. But I think it's very interesting, it's beautiful, and it generally always helps setting the setting where like geography of the place sometimes, and also the tone, especially if you have such a beautiful location like a national theater.
Mhm. Well, it gave me views I've never seen before. They're quite breathtaking, actually, and it bring you into the story quickly too, to bring you in. So, thank you for your direction. It's just incredibly lovely.
Thank you.
Greg, do you have a closing question
So
or
usually I
statement?
ask I have a usually like is there any usually I ask about any genres, but I'm going to ask you, is there any location in the world that you are absolutely dying to do a film in?
Ooh, that's a good question. Hmm. I would like, well, I was a few years ago on vacation in Thailand, and the nature there is so incredible that me and my friend we were writing back then. We were co-writing generally, and we were writing back then some very indie drama film, and we were like, let's write something super commercial, but set in Thailand, so we can come back, so someone will give us some money and send us here again. Uh, Thailand is definitely one of the places which has such a incredible nature that I would definitely go there to film something, anything honestly, like rom-com, sci-fi. It doesn't matter
Anything.
genre.
As long as
Just
it's in Thailand.
generally, I really like beaches. I
Beautiful.
really like good nature, places with a lot of sun. But yeah, Thailand and a lot of shows are being shot there now. I feel like,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's a great place, great people, great food. Yeah, why not?
Awesome.
Okay. My last question is, um, are you looking forward to the next season of the Ark?
I am. I'm looking forward.
I
I
don't
don't know.
want you
I
to
also
say anything else. I just wanted to ask that just for, I know we've got some Ark fans, that recognize the name, and things.
yes,
And
yes. I
so
don't
I
even
just wanted to
know
throw
what.
that
Yeah,
out there.
I have no clue what am I supposed or allowed to say, but
Well, you're not
people
supposed to say anything. So
yeah,
that's
but
why I
people
just
do
said what
know
I
that
said.
that it's happening. Yeah,
Yes, it's happening and you're excited about
She's
I'm
got her pen
very
in hand. She's
excited.
ready.
it. Hmm.
And first few episodes are incredible.
Awesome.
Incredible. Yes.
Well, that is good.
Very
That is good. So that's all we're going to say on that, so we don't get in trouble.
Excellent.
But
And we can have her back.
and we can have you back. And that's what was my next thing to say. If you would like to come back after your episode 7 airs, we'd be glad to have you. If you want to wait till the end, that's fine too. You know, maybe we'll have, like we did for the ARC, maybe we'll have some of the directors get together again.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, so we'll either, so if you can come back at the after 7, or if you want to wait until the final and come back with a lot of the directors, just let me know. You know, let me know.
I will. I will.
And you can have another party in one of their houses again. You know,
That's true. Yeah, that's yeah. Maybe we'll do that.
Have some
But
ice
this time
cream.
I will have to host it probably, which I like. I like hosting stuff.
well, there
Last
you
time
go.
I hosted it, yeah. But
Then
for
you
sure,
can set the time.
yes, that's also
If you
true.
host it, you get to set the time. See, so that makes it all good. But
Yeah,
we
that's-
have to let you go because you've got an early call tomorrow morning.
yes,
And it is 8:36 in the evening there. And so I don't want to keep you any longer. So thank you so much for coming. And as I said,
Thank
we
you.
look forward to having you after 7 or at the end of the run of the show with a couple of the other directors. So
thank you so much for having me,
Thank you.
guys. For sure. Like, let's chat again very soon.
we
Looking
will.
forward to it.
And so you take care. And everyone out there in cyberspace that's watching, please like, subscribe, and follow us so you don't miss any of these special episodes on the Librarians, the next chapter. So see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.